The meeting of the Pflugerville Parks and Rec Commission, September 29th at 7 p.m.? Oh, 7:01, okay. The commission welcomes comment on parks and recreation items. Public comment that is made on an item that is not on the published agenda will only be heard by the commission. No form, action, or discussion or comment will be made. Each person providing public comment will be limited to 3 minutes and will be asked to state his or her name and address for the public record. Is there anyone here that would like to speak? Okay, we'll move on to the approval of minutes. Did everyone get a chance to read the minutes? There's a copy on your desk or on the table, not your desk, sorry, table. Are there any comments or corrections? Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second to approve the minutes? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Before we move on to the next item, we're going to go to item 5, which is discuss and consider. 5A, discuss and consider action regarding the Cameron Ranch Parkland.
Okay, before you this evening, we've got the Cameron Ranch Parkland Development Dedication discussion. And Jeff and or Larry, if Larry gets here.
Yeah, we can introduce our developers or design engineering team is here. So we're all going to present.
Yeah, I can go ahead and,
Just do it when
Yeah,
you're,
come over here,
what, by
'cause I'm
one of
sharing
these
microphones.
microphones.
Yeah.
so my name is Pete Sylvester. I'm with Pape Dawson Engineers. We're the development engineer on the project. With me is representative of the developer, Armando, and Dustin Goss as well with Pape Dawson. You can go ahead and hit next. So Cameron Ranch is a 150-acre development located just east of 1849 Park. You can kind of see it there. It's got frontage on Cameron Road, and I guess that's also Cameron Road. But what's proposed is a residential, commercial development with a fire station corner as well. Development's planned in 3 phases. Next slide. So overall parkland dedication is going to be this shaded green lot here. This is the proposed public parkland dedication. It is 41.7 acres. Go ahead, hit next slide. This slide sort of breaks down that 41 acres into what's creditable per Pflugerville UDC and what is not. So the green shaded area there is full credit public parkland. The blue shaded area is floodplain, using half of the credit for that acreage towards our creditable parkland. And then the crosshatch area there is floodway, where we get 0 credit for that dedication. Proposed is going to be 434 residential units at full build out. Per UDC calculations, that results in 8.59 acres of public parkland dedication. Using the credits as shown on the previous slide, that results in 9.57 acres of creditable parkland, therefore exceeding the minimum requirements per UDC. Other thing to note would be the public parkland is proposed to be dedicated with the first phase of the development. Go ahead and hit next slide. In addition to the public parkland dedication is a payment of a parks development fee. Per UDC, that's $745 per unit. So total for the development is going to be $323,330 that will be paid by the developer to the city of Pflugerville, and that's paid upon final plat approval. This is just the overall development. So the The next slide will discuss a little bit, but
Okay.
basically the green shaded area there is private parks and open space towards the development as well.
The math is $745. It's
I
a
was asking
multiplier.
about map. I just
Oh,
didn't know
I'm
what
sorry,
the
I thought you
map
said
was.
math.
That's fine.
I'm late in, I can't hear.
It's filler on this slide.
Yeah. So this slide is basically describing what that green shaded area is. That's 14.39 acres of private parkland and open space, as well as a planned amenity center site as well. Still in the planning stages from the parks improvement side of it, but planning things such as dog stations, benches, et cetera, in those private parkland areas.
We can go back to a larger map if y'all have questions about anything.
Actually, can we go back to the map that situates it with
The location map?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
This
That's
is the
that. that's it. Okay.
parcel we're talking about.
And so the is that Wilbarger Creek?
This is, yeah, you're in the
Yes.
Wilbarger Creek,
But that, so the floodplain they're dedicating is not part of the Wilbarger, not much of it's part of the Wilbarger Creek.
so,
Eventual path through then, right? So
Sorry.
that's on the, I guess that's the.
so if you
north
can
side.
see the mouse, this is floodway. This is the creek right here.
Okay, so, oh.
So none of this, we'll get this, they won't get credit for
Right,
it.
okay.
The blue is floodplain, they'll get partial credit for that, and this is an area outside the floodplain,
Okay.
so they get full credit for the green.
Okay, then I misunderstood the previous.
And
Okay.
for the most part, they're doing amenity centers and they're doing a lot of quality of life amenities
So that's
on
another-
site. We will probably use it for trail connections.
My question was, that's part of our eventual trail connection.
Yeah, that's a big
Another
portion
piece
for
of
us
it,
is
yeah.
getting the land so we'll be able to connect.
Yeah, okay.
And this is 1849 Park here. And so we're gonna have trail connections coming out of 1849 Park.
Oh, I see, that other map is.
And then we're gonna have trail connections going now into Cameron Ranch. Obviously, there's a parcel here, Mr. Whitley, who lives there right now, that separates these two parcels. But if that parcel ever sold, and it became development, then the trail connections would come right through to 1849 and continue on through Cameron 97 and all the ones y'all have approved over the years as well.
Okay.
So you're ultimately, I don't know if it's 3 years or 30 years from now, you're going to see trail connections through that Wilbarger Creek because people can't develop in those floodways. So we'll ultimately get all that land coming through, and we'll be able to do trail connections with it. As per the mobility master plan that we presented y'all last year and Jeff and Larry have worked on. And I believe staff recommends approval of the parkland dedication as land and not fee in lieu, and then the development fee, which will help us develop that land that they're giving us, whether we're putting trails or wayfinded signage, we'll be able to allocate that 320,000 towards that at some point in the process. And then, as I said, Larry's here to answer any questions on the staff's recommendation on that, and the rest of the development team is here if you have any questions about.
Could you go back to the slide that's got the highlighted? There's a slide that's got some highlighted. I can't, no, the next one, that one right there.
Yeah.
I can't read that, why it's highlighted, or what's the,
These are just sections of the UDC that describes how we got to that minimum 8.59
This talks about the floodplain
requirement.
and
Okay.
what they would get as far as credit or partial credit for the floodplain.
Correct, yeah. So that section is what allows us to use half of the parkland, half of the floodplain area as the creditable parkland.
So when we've reviewed other proposed developments, they often have visions for how they wanted to develop the parkland, and I understand that those were just at the
Yeah,
vision
conceptual.
stage, but we don't even have that here. Does that matter?
We don't have that here, partly because we don't foresee a lot of development on the public side of this land that we're getting. They're gonna do some development on the private side, the amenity center and some of those things. And they may be able to provide those to us, and we could provide those to y'all in an email later on. But
Since those are visions and not set in stone, they're not worth a lot anyway. So
that's right.
That's why I was wondering.
All this green right here is private, parkland dollars. And then the green there, the green, the blue, and the stripe section is all public parkland, but very few of it is gonna be developed in any way that
That's-
you would see a developed
that's
parkland. So there's not a lot to throw any type of conceptual designs on right now.
Okay.
And
Okay, so-
sorry, Ray,
Yeah,
we're
go ahead.
trending in this direction. There's a gentleman named Dr. John Crompton, that is kind of the authority. He works at Texas A&M. He's the authority on parkland dedication, has been for a long time, since its infancy. And, you know, with cities having to deal with M&O and some of the impact to the maintenance and operations that we deal with when we take on land, a lot of recommendations is it's either taking land that isn't developed or taking fee in lieu of, not developing a lot of parks that our staff have to go out to these remote spots and check trash and mutt mitts and those types of things. And instead, when they're doing it in the private sector type of way, there's a maintenance agreement on this, and there's private amenity centers that they're managing. So that quality of life's taken care of by that development. There's still a park, there's still some things that that community will feel like they have that's theirs. And then there's land that we'll develop trails on in the future.
What you just said answered part of the question I was
Okay.
gonna ask, so that's good. I'm good.
And there is for sure in the mobility master plan, trail identified for this parcel of land. And that, based on it being identified in the master plan, they will have to construct that trail.
Okay, could you go back to the map that's got 1849 and this parcel?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when we have Cameron Road that's in between the two.
Yeah, you can't see it
So-
very well, but that's right here right now. It's
Okay.
kind of comes, that's Cameron
Okay,
Road right now.
okay, so is that part of what you're talking about, the trail, connecting these two parcels together?
No, so the creek that runs through this system, and fortunately for us in an aerial map, you can see creek land pretty well, right? You can
Right.
see the areas that farmers haven't farmed on and developers haven't developed. Along the way, you'll see that we've got some creek areas in here that we would be taking over, and it just continues that connection point across. So, maybe we should have blown up a bigger photo. 1849 Park obviously goes up, it tees over, it creates this huge T. That's 1849 Park. This is a parcel we don't own right now. This is the other portion of 1849. This is where your baseball fields are coming in. And you've got some connection points already, like you can see some well-defined areas that are trails, some areas that hug this neighborhood that are trails, that are all waiting for the rest of Cameron development to build out, and connections will happen along the way.
So now that we're the trail capital of Texas with, what, 59 miles? or-
Yeah, over 60 now.
Okay, so how many more miles we think we're gonna get here of,
Do you remember what full build-out was with that?
Full build out was 140.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where this takes us, but
Yeah. Or the great thing about the Trail Capital of Texas designation, us going back and having this UDC looked at, is obviously the Trail Capital of Texas designation is top of mind for us, for council, planning and zoning. As we continue to revisit the UDC and even see future stuff, we'll probably continue to make sure we're leveraging land that is floodplain and floodway that we can get creek development on. I think you're only gonna see us continue to develop trails in the future. You know, I don't think it stops anytime soon. I'll just need a motion in a second unless there's other discussion.
any other discussion? As,
This will go to planning and zoning after y'all's recommendation.
is there a motion to approve item 5A?
I move that we approve.
I will
Do we-
second.
Do we have a second? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Thank y'all.
Have a good one.
Thank y'all very much.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Go out and get warm.
Okay, now we go back to item 4A.
Yep, director's report. My time to shine, Ray.
All right,
My time to
good,
shine.
good. It's right already.
So goats are still here. If you remember, it was 6 to 8 weeks. They're at Windermere currently. They've been in the park system for about a month. They still have Wilbar Creek north and south, and the Murchison Mallard to go through before they're done. So they still got about 3 to 4 more weeks, I'd say at least. Junior, is he out? He stepped out.
Boy, they
Oh, there he
really
is.
doubt-
Yeah, about another
They
month.
really doubt First United Methodist. It looks amazing.
Yeah.
Out in the parking
Oh, it
lot, you
does.
go there, like, I can actually see.
You can
"Oh,
see
I
through it.
trash."
Yeah, you can't see trash. It does expose
I
other
don't
things.
see any water, but.
Yep,
Yeah, you don't see any poison ivy.
that's right.
Right.
It's amazing. Looks good.
We had other animals come visit us. We've had armadillos come and visit 1849 Park, which, as cute as they are, and I think they have some sort of state status, they sure like to chew up ball fields. So Junior and his team caught 2 of them, and we've gotten them. I don't know what you did with them. Don't say what you did with them.
I don't know what the guys did with it.
It was all above board, I promise.
Catch and release.
Here's the most important part. They're not chewing up our fields anymore.
Yeah. I think there's a state roadkill.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I don't know if that's a designation, but.
We also recently had Rock the Block and Parking Day, just this last Friday. Rock the Block was the last in our series of summer concert series. This set being downtown, the music in the park is in Pfluger Park. And then Parking Day is a national initiative that the American Planning Association does every year to help remind people the importance of parks while you take parking lot spaces and convert them to little parklets. And so you'll see in this video, we'll see how loud this video is in a second. Be ready. Hey. But we had a Tool cover band out there. You had a pirate invasion, so the local bars had a pirate night. You got a little parklet out there that people were enjoying. It was quite the atmosphere out there last Friday night.
I saw David a booth out there.
Yeah, yeah. He's giving out plants. She got some donations. There's your pirates.
Yar.
Yeah. The only ones we could show on video. See, everyone had a little fun out there.
There's some serious blockers going on out there.
Yeah, there were, definitely. Had a lot of people having a lot of fun. We also had our cardboard regatta, our annual cardboard regatta. I think this is year 5. And you can see it was packed. The amount of people that were at this event is grown every single year. In fact, talking to Whitney, we may have to figure out some flights or something next year. We just have so many people. You didn't drown this year? You didn't attempt?
Excuse me? I was looking for the sinking boat, but I didn't see it.
You see this macaroni and cheese with their little macaroni lids? Love it. Everyone does some really creative stuff. The Yellow Submarine. There's a lot of different groups out. It's really cool. It's a fun event. We were at conference, and so Jeff and Junior, I think, were back. I drove to Orlando, so I was driving back. But yeah, it looked like it had a lot of people out there, and it continues to grow every single year. Staff also participated in Public Safety Day. We brought our boom lift and a couple of touch-a-truck type opportunities. Had staff out, park rangers were out. We worked with PD and Public Works just to host a nice event at the church where the public could come out and see all the things that the city offers them. And then a couple months ago, we told y'all that Cambridge Estates would be getting updated, and you can see to the right, this was it before the mulch got in there, but we got some really fun little play pieces. This shade structure stayed. We took the playground equipment out, put new playground equipment in, and then put rock climbers on both sides. So it's an incredible little park for that neighborhood for sure. And we got our project updates.
Yeah, we're moving and shaking on all of our projects. So 1849 Phase 2, y'all have seen this several times. There's the concept there. As a reminder, it's two 225-foot baseball fields and one softball field, same size. All the parking lots, concrete walking paths, field lighting, playground, concession and restrooms, and then event lawn, which I don't know if we have included on that. But it's at 62% construction complete. I have no idea what that percentage means, but it's getting pretty close.
It's above 50, guys.
It's above 50. We're past halfway. The estimated completion date right now is January 21st. You know, in construction, as we've noticed with projects like this, things happen. It's already about a month or month and a half later than it was originally intended to be, but when you go out there, when we get to ribbon cut this, you'll see why it took so long, because it's tiered. There was a lot of grading that had to happen. So really,
It'd be a very unique spot.
it really is. The project took a long time before you even saw things start to take shape, just because they had to get all the leveling right. I think we've got some photos of what it looks like now, but you can really see it. And so what's going to be really unique about this is that leveling created sort of a tiered structure. So the three fields are not at the same level. So you're going to kind of be looking right into one field when you're in the plaza area, and then the third field, you can see it's got these tiered stands going up to the, down to the backstop. So it's going to create a really cool viewing experience, something you don't really get in a lot of. It was difficult for construction, but it's going to create an experience, a user experience that you don't really have at a lot of baseball complexes. So we're really excited about
Every
it.
other baseball complex, you feel shoulder to shoulder. You can look over and you see on the same playing field that other team's playing, and there's just a series of fences, the outfield fence, and then basically a walkway, and then the fence, and then because this is tiered in such a way, you're almost going to feel like you're in your own little stadium every single spot.
Yeah.
You'll hear stuff going on.
I was gonna
but
say, I bet the sound will be a lot different too.
it should
Yeah.
be, yeah.
Yeah, the stands behind the home plate too will create an interesting atmosphere for umpires. But it'll be fun.
Get some robotic.
That's right.
It's obviously not the only construction that's happening out there. Phase 1B, which is the extension of the parking lot, additional lighting, so adding lighting to the football fields, is getting really close to complete. The drainage improvements, still working on some of that.
See the lights.
Yep. All that's orange there now has parking. And so we've had issues with a lack of parking, particularly for the soccer fields over the last couple years. That should not be a problem. We anticipate having nobody illegally park.
There's a lot of parts.
It is. And for
Still not going
football,
to happen, but
Yeah.
now we have a reason to tell people you got to go park in the parking lot. It was tough when there was no parking available and people were parking where they had to, but
For football, we had 3 fields, but we only had enough parking to accommodate one group at a time. So
yeah.
that was always real frustrating for the folks out there who would see other fields not being used, but we couldn't add 100 more people out there to those spots. And so with the parking now on the football side and the extra parking on the soccer side, we're really going to be able to accommodate all those fields and pod use.
Yeah, and not just the sports, the Eggpalooza has the same issue, and so we'll have adequate parking for events that we have out there. It's going to finally feel complete, at least on that phase 1 side.
Wasn't there gonna be some sort of food truck set up?
There's a food truck set up on the baseball fields. Yeah, so there's If you go back, so you can't see it here, but to the right of where all of this is, like the entrance, there's pedestals for food trucks to be able to drive onto the sidewalk, park off the side of the sidewalk, and then they'll have electricity and things like that. So. Phase 1B is 76%, so just over 3/4 of the way. I know
Look at
that. And they anticipate being done by the end of next month, so that one's getting really close. Most of that parking people are already using.
Already using, yeah.
So, yeah, it looks great.
It does. So you can see that extra parking there and all that extra parking there.
Yeah, it's easy to see what's new with the coloring of the asphalt. Murchison Park, so this is over off Tranquility Lane in the Falcon Point neighborhood. Y'all may remember this from a couple months ago when we were talking CIP. It's trail improvements, expansion of the trail, new playground with shade, new pavilion near the playground, and then obviously all the site furnishings that go along with playgrounds and trails. Next slide.
Also, is it Murchison or Murkison?
I don't know.
Murkison.
That's what I thought.
The
Yes,
the
that is-
school in Austin is
Murkison.
Murchison.
Uh-huh.
And ours is,
Pflugerville is Murkison.
it's the other way.
Murkison.
All right,
His
yes.
last name is
I got it now.
Trust me,
If you
Mrs.
say it
Murkison,
quickly,
she pointed it out
nobody
to me when it was
Yeah.
Murkison.
That's what I thought.
Mrs. Murkison.
The park near Mallard Pond Park
Yes.
is now 74% complete, so just under 3/4.
That's almost, yeah.
Almost 3/4. They anticipate being done middle of November.
The
Hey,
trails
can you go
across.
back to that previous slide? Was there any improvements to the dog park, or was there anything at the dog park? I know we talked about,
Not through this project.
there were some trail connections.
There's accessibility improvements but the dog park itself.
Yeah, we've already broken in the trails across that field there.
Oh, good.
The dog park.
You
Every
enjoying
day.
it?
yes, they're good.
Yeah, so it's 100% complete for you.
There you
Using
go.
the trails.
Oh, I'm waiting for that one through the trees on
Yeah.
down there to go.
Yeah,
going.
it's gonna
That's
be
that's
really
gonna be
nice.
Cool, yeah.
Yeah. So they're getting that playground in. That was a pretty simple project, pretty straightforward, and so it hasn't taken too long. And Isaac, our project manager, has done a good job of keeping this one moving. Kelly Lane Park, we just received our approval on our construction contract a couple weeks ago to get moving on this. And so this is just south of Kelly Lane at the corner of Falcon Point Boulevard and Kelly Lane. It's obviously got additional trails because we can't do parks without new trails. 3 pickleball courts, so our first outdoor pickleball courts in our system, our Parks and Rec system. Got drinking fountains, a covered pavilion to go along with those pickleball courts so you can still use it when the sun's out. It's pretty hot. It's got a prefab restroom, so we'll be adding restrooms to it, and it has a playground as well.
What does it mean?
That's gonna be
prefab
awesome.
restroom?
So it's a restroom, we build the pad, make the site, bring all the utilities to it. They deliver the restroom on a truck and just use a crane to drop it in place. It's actually pretty fun to watch them put that in there.
And we've got we have it at Wilbarger South.
We have them all over the
Got
place.
it at
Wilbarger and North.
Yep.
Okay, all right,
Yep.
yeah.
So yeah, that'll start construction. I think it's middle of October, and then the anticipated completion for that's May of 2026. And I'm sure we'll have a fun pickleball-related ribbon cutting for this one.
0 right now.
This is 0% complete. I know what that means.
For the maths out there.
That's right. So there's a look at the prefab restroom. Skinny enough to fit on a truck and drive down the road.
And then the playground too.
Yeah, and you've got the concrete trail going through there. You can see on the northeast side of that park, that's sort of a future phase. There's concept plans for a further trail extension going up on that side.
Something that y'all may get a question about at some point. So across this very busy intersection right up here is Blackhawk. And we're putting a park right across from it and it's an attractor. And, you know, it obviously is something that's a attractor. But what the kids on that part of Blackhawk will see by design is just a pickleball court, which they'll be less interested in playing on than adults would, obviously. And then the playground itself is shielded more from the trees. And it's something that for the Falcon Point neighborhood and for the folks that park, and it's easy to access, but it's not this It's not this huge thing that's glistening across this busy intersection
Shiny
where
object.
kids have to feel like they
Yeah.
have to frogger across. And that was by design in some ways, that we understood that this is a park that was undeveloped, that was 10 or 12 years ago, was part of a desire to develop it. And we're working off that document for sure. But how do we make it where it's as safe as possible, where it's accessible, where people know about it, but it's not something that kids see from across the
It'd be
way?
weird to make it attract but not attract at the same time.
It's not easy. Yep. But, you know, we could have put the playground here in the pickleball area over here or something, but that would have made this a much more attractive thing, thus being a much more dangerous thing for those kids having to get
I
across.
like what you just said about frog or.
Yeah. Well, maybe the parents that are super excited about pickleball, but
Yeah, but the kids.
Yeah.
they should be fine. So, in that same vein, you know, we posted this on social media a few weeks back once it got approved, and folks are excited about pickleball. There's also people who are concerned about pickleball. One, these are not tennis courts that have pickleball courts on them. These are designated
Designed.
pickleball
Designated.
courts. We're comfortable, along with every other park system in the country, comfortable building pickleball courts that are not tennis courts now because it absolutely has staying power. We've heard some concerns about what about when pickleball falls out of fashion, and that is an understandable concern for a lot of these sports that you hear are the fastest growing. Pickleball's not going anywhere, and it's only getting more popular, so we have no concerns about that. It also is a little louder than tennis because you've got the paddle, the wood paddle, whatever it is, hitting the plastic ball. So the design team purposefully put this as far away from homes as they could. As you'll see, those are homes down there, and then there's across the street,
Across the
there's
street
homes.
over here, yeah.
We don't think sound is going to be a problem. Worked with the design team on that. If it is, and if it does end up being a problem, we actually visited with the USA Pickleball when we were at the national conference last week, and to try to get ahead of an issue that we don't think is one, but if in case it is, there's some screening and there's some other things that you can do to sort of mitigate the sound. So if you hear concerns about that, we're paying attention to it. Don't think it's going to be an issue, but if it is, there's some things.
The drone of Kelly Lane's gonna help
I
a
was
lot.
just gonna say,
Yeah, traffic.
Yeah.
No, don't anticipate it being a problem, but we'll take care of it if it is.
There'll always be
and
one.
the squealing tires.
One
for
complaint.
People dealing with people who don't know how to go around the traffic.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I would venture to guess that the children on that playground are gonna make more noise than the people on the.
Yeah, that's why we put them closer to the home so they can.
So the pickleball courts have lights? Are they gonna have lights?
They'll have lights.
They will.
And a little restroom.
Okay, so then the noise
Somewhere.
at night might,
Yeah,
that's
no,
gonna be something.
and we will control that.
Yeah.
We'll control the timing on that.
Okay.
So, you know, the park is going to close when all of our other parks close, which is a little later than people probably want to hear pickleball noises. So
Yeah, 'cause I
we
live
turn
in-
those lights off earlier.
I live in Falcon Point, and during the winter months, the tennis courts were converted to pickleball without the HOA approval. And they were out there having tournaments till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. They would just bypass the timer.
Yeah.
So once you're inside, they could just, the timer's there, they could just keep on at it another hour. So 2 o'clock, so this went on for weeks, where people complain about the noise. So
Yeah.
I don't see that happening here, because you
No.
guys got it under control.
We'll have control of
Yeah.
it.
Right. Luckily, we've got an ordinance that shuts down all the parks. Unless you're on the trail, it shuts down all the parks at 10 o'clock.
Okay,
So,
cool.
yeah.
So phase 2 of Lake Pflugerville, you know, we've talked about this as well when we went through our CIP discussion earlier this year. But just as a quick reminder, the focus of this is on the northwest side. And the easiest way to say this is it's everything in the lake that's east of, what's the road over there?
Weiss.
The Becker
Farms.
Becker Farms.
Yep. So there's future nature center and things like that that are west. That's part of future bond. This is everything east. So it's the Silent Harbor trailhead.
Got it.
It's the area around the beach. So beach expansion, restrooms, shade structures, splash pad, walkways, additional play components. We have a concept for that. I think next slide tells us where we are. So we and that concept is the
Zero.
master plan is
We're at 0.
we're at 0 again. The master plan is 10 years old from Lake Pflugerville.
Yeah, the preliminary
And then
design
the
report is.
the PDR is 6 years old.
6, 7 years old, yeah.
So once we get into design, which we did an RFQ, a request for qualification for design, we're reviewing the qualification statements that
Got some exciting firms.
we've got some
Yep.
really exciting firms. So once we decide on that design team, design will kick off first part of next year, and we'll re-engage the public. We'll do all that to figure out if where we were in 2019 is where we are now, and engage Parks and Rec Commission and council, and that we anticipate that to be about a 12-month process, go through design for phase 2 of Lake Pflugerville. But we have started that clock, so 0% construction, but we're getting close to design. And then Destination Play, sort of similar, it's right behind. This was Isaac, our park project manager, put Destination Play Space in AI, and this is what it wants us to build.
If he builds this park, I'm firing him.
So, but Destination Play, as y'all will remember, as a bond project, is our take on a unique and innovative park that's going to be for all abilities, all ages, multi-generational. It's moving away from the traditional playground, pavilion, restroom park, and really getting innovative with the space. About a month ago, we took this site selection to City Council, and they agreed with us that Bowles Park should be the location for Destination Play because of its proximity to downtown. It's already a space that we own. That's a pretty blank slate, that we don't have to use land acquisition dollars. We can invest all that money into Destination Play. So we're moving forward on that. And then next slide.
It had a lot of the infrastructure we were looking for, too.
Has a lot of, yeah,
So
yep.
when you say Bowles Park, is that the field?
Right next to us. Yep. And so, obviously, we've got to get into design and talk through this, but our thought process is that this is a connection to Play from downtown east, from what is currently downtown. It's got all the connections without having to cross the road, go right under the road to the new downtown. We would like to find some really creative and innovative ways to cross the creek and things like that. So that may be a multi-phased project, to be honest with you. We may not finish it with this first phase, but for this part of Destination Play, we will put out the RFQ very soon for design. We'll go through the same process we're going through in Lake Pflugerville, and again, we anticipate that being about a 12-month process because of the amount of public engagement we want to see on this site.
And y'all will be engaged just like y'all were for the Old Town Park Master Plan, you know? Really.
Yeah, and a lot of the things we did for the Old Town Park Master Plan, we're not master planning this, we're gonna go straight into design, but it's gonna be very similar. It's gonna be at events.
The engagement process, yeah.
Yeah, the engagement process, trying to reach people where they are. We have a blueprint for what successful public engagement looks like at this point in Pflugerville, so we know how to do that well.
The master plan for Old Town Park, plus whatever ultimately this design shows, plus 1849 Park Phase 3, plus the Lake Phase 3. The desire with all those is, the last bond election we had in 2020, we took a lot of things to the citizens that they voted for, they were very excited about, but we didn't have any design plans for any of them. So you get something approval, and then you have to start designing it. The desire with this next bond is to be able to show, like, Old Town Park Master Plan, right? You know, it's a $3 or $4 million park. If the citizens vote for it, great, but they have that plan, they can actually look at it and see it. The same thing with whatever phase 2 of this would be, whatever's unfunded at the lake and some of this other stuff. We're trying to get more plans to link up design to what our request is, so when things are approved, we actually have plans and we're ready to execute quicker.
Yep. And then our 5-year CIP. So we talked about this, several months ago. It's been refined and cleaned up a little bit after our discussions with City Council. Really, the only thing that's different about the 5-year CIP from when we presented it previously is Lake Pflugerville. And some of the money has been moved around a little bit to closer align with actual spend. So a lot of things happen in the span of 6 months. I think when we took this to y'all in February and March, we really weren't sure what we were gonna be spending in FY '26, and so a lot of that's been refined. But the projects remain the same largely. But Lake Pflugerville was broken into 4 separate projects, and it was honestly confusing for us, and then it confused council when we took it to them about how it was actually broken up. So it was, Boardwalk was in a future phase, even though that was part of the existing phase, or phase 2 that we're about to start working on. So we broke that into Lake Pflugerville Park Phase 2 and Lake Pflugerville Park Phase 3. So it's much more simplified. Like I said, the easy way to think about it is everything east is Lake Pflugerville Phase 2, Nature Center, and everything west of Becker Farm is Lake Pflugerville Phase 3.
And this is a tough document to read, we understand that. It's also gonna be in the budget book, and it's something we can get to y'all now that council's approved. But it's essentially all the projects y'all talked about that you saw. We had big photos for each project. This is just how finance boringly looks at CIP versus how we do it. So,
Yeah.
we can get that to you, but it's the same project we talked about. Now, some of the money's been reallocated, like Jeff said, because we might have thought, I think originally we had the design for,
Yeah, the total amounts on each one of these projects is the same. What's yellow here is what we highlighted for council to show actual spend. So some things we had, a
we thought we'd get
good
to
portion of it
design
in FY
quicker
'26
somewhere.
for
Yeah, yeah.
construction that we actually aren't gonna get to construction at that time, so it was moved back, but the totals have not changed on these projects.
Yeah, nothing's changed. Well, the only thing is, now that council has selected Bowles, the land acquisition dollars
That's right.
for the bond. So when I run a bond, I always add land acquisition dollars, because if you do a destination play park for 16 million or 5 million or 1 million, and then you don't have any land acquisition dollars, you didn't really get that park for 1 million or 5 million or 60 million, because you have to spend part of the money on purchasing the land. Same thing for a rec center. So I always try to do land acquisition dollars in any bond. And so, when we were ready to buy the land for the rec center, we used part of that land acquisition dollar. Same thing for some other projects. We were holding out a parcel, I think $2.25 million,
Yeah,
something like that, in the $2 million range
somewhere around 2.
for the potential land destination purchase, or destination play purchase. Now that we have identified that Bowles will be the destination play park, council's approved that, we can pour that land acquisition fund money into overflow of destination play, or 1849 Park, or the lake, or anything that's currently on the bond program. So that one that we talked to you about is gone away. It's being redistributed back into the bond. Everything else has stayed the same.
Sounds like it's still early days, but are you guys anticipating having to expand parking over there? Or you think, because we're proximate to the rec center, you got parking here that can
Yes.
connect over there?
Yeah, so we're gonna have to do some parking over there. But what's cool is, it is 0.25 miles from the parking garage at downtown East, and it's less than a quarter of a mile up to this facility. Now, this facility won't be in our inventory anymore. We're not gonna run this facility and downtown East, but this will be a city building at some point, of some determination, with the parking lot not going anywhere. So people can park in that parking lot in Bowles Park, and if there's more people than, if there's no spaces, people can park here as an overflow, and they can park at downtown East as an overflow. We imagine a lot of people at downtown East may even just walk down here after shopping or whatever, or they ate a meal, let's walk that off a little bit, let the kids play, and then we'll walk them back. So there was a lot of good ROI on placing it along this trail corridor and near downtown East and this current site.
Yep.
It already had waste and water from the restroom. It already had some utilities with lights and things like that, which even if we'd have chosen another undeveloped parcel of land that we owned and we didn't have to spend land acquisition dollars on it, we may have had to bring utility to it. And so this had all those things. And as we told council, Bowles Park is one of the 5 oldest parks in our park system, and it was one of the only parks left that we haven't looked at and re-envisioned. So Old Town hasn't been done, but it's been re-envisioned, and that'll go up for the citizens to vote. If they want to vote on it, great. If they don't, that's wonderful as well. But all the other old parks, whether it was Gillen Creek and Pfluger and Wells Point and other ones, had seen improvements at some huge level. And so this is a great way, with the road being shut down for the Emmanuel Road expansion, we're hoping to capture the Emmanuel Road Bridge and put it into the design of it, which I think is great. We're working with Public Works right now on that parcel of that. There was a wastewater interceptor that was actually gonna tear up part of the playground already for wastewater improvements, for the city. And so there was just it was a good time to take this offline for a little bit, re-envision it, and open it up to what we're hoping to its grand usage with the downtown east and this trail corridor and everything else that's happening right now.
Yep.
Oh,
Ooh, look at that. All right.
so we didn't get any full-time employees approved in the budget, but since one of our FTEs helped make a baby, we have decided to allow it. So Jonathan's been on paternity leave. If you reached out, he has not replied. He's not talking to us either, you know. But this is Eli Cameron Hansen.
nice.
Jonathan, his wife Alyssa, and baby are all doing really well.
Great.
We assume.
Yeah. We haven't heard from them.
We don't
Look
know.
good here.
Did see him in the flesh last week, dude.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Good. So he waited till we were gone.
Yeah,
That's big.
we're alive.
Yeah, it's back.
That's big as shit.
Yeah, it's a monster. So,
I guess, John.
okay.
Item 4B, discussion regarding Deutschen Fest 2025 update.
But Bay's here.
That's right.
Bays.
All right, so Deutschen Fest, we are just over 3 weeks away, which is hard to believe, but it's coming nice and quick. So just a reminder on the days. So Friday, obviously, we'll start at 5 and we'll go to 11 that night. Saturday, we'll start at 10 and also go to 11. Just a little bit of update on ticket sales. We're doing better than we were this time last year. So these were as of yesterday. Now, granted, that's about a 3 or 4x on 2024, but keep in mind we sold 4,000 total tickets. So 130 is nothing. But we are showing some improvement, right? And part of that is we don't sell out Deutschen Fest, so there really is no reason to strong pre-purchase. So that's why you see, again, this is like just over 2% of total sales. So not saying we're killing it, but we're off to a better start for sure. Melissa?
Go back to that slide.
Yes, ma'am.
What website did we go to?
DeutschenFest.com.
Read it.
Oh, yep. If I could spell, that would help. Don't go to that one. I don't know if we have a redirect for that misspelling.
Yeah, the QR code takes it.
That's right,
just
that's right. We're good at planning events. Nobody said we're good at spelling.
Right, or
I was just
or
hoping that the t-shirts did not
arithmetic.
do the same.
Yeah.
We've been
I
struggling.
can only
with
count to
arithmetic.
12. There's only so many things. So here's our shirts for this year. The green one on the left is going to be kind of our traditional Deutschen Fest logo shirt. We just kind of put it on a new color. This year we went with the green to play off the gold. They look really good. We've got a few of them printed. The second one is kind of our special edition shirt that we change up year to year. So last year this was the big Hans head on a blue shirt. This year we're going with a long sleeve, obviously. So on the pocket there it has just Deutschen Fest, Pflugerville, Texas, and the year on the pocket. There is no physical pocket, but that's the print location. And then a left sleeve, Guten Tag y'all down the left sleeve, and there's nothing on the back. But that's a long sleeve. There's a child's version of this that is just short sleeve, and on that one, the Guten Tag y'all is on the back. But otherwise, color, front print, everything is the same. A child shirt in long sleeve is just very tricky, so we just went with the short sleeve for theirs. And then the Fun Run shirt, we have a new logo for the Fun Run shirt this year. You can kind of see there. With Hans, there's a couple goats in there, and the Trail Capital of Texas sign is the sign back there, kind of in the back. You'll be able to see those much better, obviously, in person than on our PowerPoint. But those are our shirts for this year. So here's the overall event layout. This has not changed hardly at all, especially the bones of it, since last time we showed you all this map. If you kind of work from the left side of the screen, again, you have the food area in the yellow, the stage and kind of the main lawn there in the blue. The beer gardens, your red section, all the little dots, those are not precise, but those are just kind of showing the areas where we have booths. And then obviously as you work your way across, the two kind of teal shaded sections are the Wunderpark, aka the kid zone. So that's where we'll have all the carnival rides and stuff, which we'll get into. So again, a lot of this is very much the same as far as the bones of the layout. Talking specifically about the vendors. So right now, here's some numbers. So we actually have 27 of our 29 Berlin vendor spaces. So these are what we consider our premium booth spaces, as they're kind of from the main gate around to the music and the food section where we get a lot of our foot traffic. So 27 of those 29 are currently full. And then we have 18 of our 24 Munich level vendors. So we're almost full there as well. I'm kind of new this year, which we'll talk about the fun run. So kind of along with that is this year our community booths, which were part of the community fair with the fun run at Finnick Park in years past. The fun run has come back into Deutschen Pfest that Saturday, so they'll run out of Pfluger Park, which we'll talk about. But along with that, the community booths are back in. So right now we have 3 total groups. I think that's actually covering 4 total booth spaces. And then finally, the city booths. We have some in the beer garden this year, which we'll talk about. And then another little group. That detached section of 4 is actually just like a art coloring kind of kid booth, but it takes up 4 physical spaces. So that's where we have them plotted. And then, of course, our beer vendors. So we have our main big beer tent. Rotary will have their large tent. And then you have the 6 other booths, 3 groups of 2. One of those is Rotary, and then we'll have our 2 other groups there as well.
What's Park Foundation?
Yep, and the Parks Foundation. So vendor highlights, so just a little bit. Again, we have a lot more vendors. I think if you added up the total just between the Munich and the Berlin vendors, I think we're sitting right around the 44, 45 mark. Physical spaces, it's a few more. There's a few double booths. And then last year we were sitting somewhere in the 20, I think it's 25 to 27. So we have a noticeable bump in the number of vendor booths we have this year, which was intentionally we worked in our layout. But that covers quite a wide gamut. So we got woodworking, crafts, jewelry, 3D printing. I mean, we got kind of something for everyone, right? Yep. No, we were good.
Yeah. Recruitment.
I'm sorry?
Recruitment.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Recruitment, the top word.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm available.
Oh, see?
by the way.
There we go. You can't trust me to spell anything.
Recruitment is not recruitment.
Food vendors, again, this layout is going to be very similar to last year. Same area, kind of same how it's all plotted out and laid out. We'll have 9 total spaces available. Right now, we currently have 4 food trucks, and then we'll have 2 food tent vendors for this year. We're really focused on variety, so we have had more applicants in this, but at some point it doesn't do the public any good, and it definitely doesn't do the vendors any good to get a lot of overlap. It doesn't really help when you have 4 vendors all selling turkey legs or whatever it may be. It doesn't do anybody any good. So while those numbers may seem a little low, we've really tried to make sure that we're providing that variety for the vendor's sake as well. And this is still going to be enough for our crowd. Plus, you got to think Rotary has food as well too. So it's not just these folks that we're relying on. And then also in the Wonder Park in the Kids Zone, we'll also have 1 or 2 vendors over there. Again, those we really try to focus more on family, kid type stuff. So all your typical kiddo meals, well, they may not be interested in schnitzel over here in the main food zone. You know, there may be, kind of your chicken nuggets, fries, corn dogs, that kind of more carnival-y food that they may like without having to hike literally all the way across the event. The beer garden itself, so again, we kind of touched on this as far as vendors and stuff go. A couple changes, which we talked about, like the city booths. We had 1 city booth. Explore Pflugerville had a booth in the beer garden last year. But again, we made a lot of these changes, honestly, and same with the photo area. If you'll notice, or if you remember, we had a photo area last year, but it was turned out, like on the path in the corner. This year we kind of flipped it, and it will be included in the beer garden. But what that's allowed us to do is add those extra vendor booths to give us those additional vendor spaces that we talked about earlier. And then that's kind of the same thought process too with the city booths. The beer garden is a great place to engage the public when they're there, but it also frees up some more vendor spaces for us to add more folks in there too. So again, we have Rotary, the Parks Foundation, and then we'll still be finalizing the 3rd vendor for this year. Contests, they're back as usual, so the traditional pretzel eating and sign holding we'll have. We'll also have Hammerschlagen, which if you remember, that's basically just driving a nail with a hammer and see how proficient you are with one swing.
Like to get you liquored up first if possible.
Yeah, exactly. See what you can get done. And then we don't plot it here, but the big screen for live sports, college football, whatever it may be, will also be back most likely in the same spot, but it's not something we necessarily plot on here, but it'll be back this year.
Pretzel eating will change a little.
Yeah, so how some of I think it's maybe the next slide. The contests are set up. So timing-wise, first, Friday we'll have kind of our traditional schedule. We'll have 2 adult pretzel eatings and 2 stein holdings. Those are typically done back-to-back So when we finish one, we move to the other. And then Saturdays, when we'll do the kids' pretzel eatings, and again, you have the same pretzel and stein holding and eating there. Like Shane mentioned, we'll have a change to the way the pretzel eating contest has been done the last few years versus this year. This year, it'll just be a single pretzel race as opposed to
How many you can
how
fit in
many
your
you
mouth.
can eat in X amount of time.
We're learning.
Yeah, I'm not sure too many people had fun by the end of it in general. Plus, also, to be honest, it helps us with wasted food, right? So when we hand out those pretzels, whether they get eaten at that time or not, those pretzels are now theirs. They may not want them as much as they used to 60 seconds ago, but that's how it goes. So we can kind of narrow down those numbers on our side too, just improves it kind of all the way around. And then this year we're happy to announce Growler Bar will also be sponsoring prizes like they have in the past. So that gentleman there has a growler and a gift card, which will be Growler Bar's sponsorship as well this year. So entertainment for the main stage. So there's a picture of the main stage this year. Again, on the layout, like we mentioned, that'll all be very, very similar, same spot, all that good stuff. So Friday we'll have 2 bands starting at 5:30. So just after official opening, we'll have Isaac Klaus and the Lederhosen Junkies, which is a polka group. And then our kind of headliner for Friday night will be American Gypsy, which is a local crew. They have a really good following. They play some really cool, like kind of southern rock is generally what I refer to them as. And then Saturday we'll start with Austin Polka Band. Pretty straightforward there. Jolie and the Jackalopes, they play a really cool, was it like rockabilly, which is almost like your early, like kind of 50s diner music, early rock country kind of blend. So they blend a pretty upbeat groove with a little bit of country kind of feel. Anyway, I think they'll have a neat feel for us. And then we'll have Elijah Zane, and then obviously, like we've talked about before, we'll have Easy Band headlining for us on Saturday night. The Wonder Park, the kids area. So again, we'll have carnival rides, which we'll touch on. Petting zoo is back this year. New this year, we will have pony rides also over there, and not just pony rides. So also have an actual horse as well, like a full size, not just ponies. So we can get lots of good rides for all kinds of folks. Face painters, your typical balloon artist. Our hair braider will be back this year as well. So that was a big hit. So she will be back, which is awesome. We'll have a touch-a-truck, and it may just be more of a couple pieces of equipment instead of like a full-blown kind of touch-a-truck as compared to something like we would do at Slice. And then we'll have a DJ over there as well for music, just to keep the energy up as we go through the evening. So your carnival rides, which I think we brought to this group early summer, late spring to discuss. So here's kind of the update on what that's looking like. First off, we'll start with the Ferris wheel, and you'll obviously know it's in a different spot. So last year we kind of hit it just right with the playground that's in the bottom image there at Gillen, where we had no playground. And so we had a little more room for rides. This year the playground is back, which is great, but it stole some of our carnival ride space. So this year the Ferris wheel, long story short, will be that field. It's kind of a zoomed out image, so you had a better spot. But that's actually looking, if you were standing on the stage, you'd be looking right at the Ferris wheel. So the beer garden is just off that top image on the right side. And then that's kind of the trail on the northern side of the park that wraps around there. So that's what you're looking at. The green rectangle there is also the carnival like game trailer. So our vendor has a really cool, it's 4 separate, and I don't remember what they are, but carnival games all in one big giant trailers. It's pretty awesome. So we're excited about that. And then you'll have the 4 other carnival rides at Gillen Creek in very much the same layout, minus the Ferris wheel, of course, that we had last year. We threw the delivery on here just because these will be some of the first things, if y'all happen to walk the park that week, that you'll see. So it's not out of the realm of possibility. These might show up in their travel fashion, like the Sunday before Deutschen Fest. So if you happen to walk the park, these will be some of the first things that show up.
I had a question about entertainment. I didn't go last year, so it may have been true last year. So y'all are no longer using the podium or the 2 other stages.
Yes,
You're only
it's just the main stage. Correct.
What are you doing with the gazebo? Anything?
The little gazebo, like in the by Fallen Warrior Memorial?
Either one of them. But
Yeah.
The big one is what I was talking about.
So the Gillen Creek Pavilion, so that's where we'll have, depending on the exact vendor, we could have one of the food vendors under there. That's a lot where the face painters will go this year. So a lot of the kind of smaller kids area stuff will be under the pavilion. run about half of it, and then the other half of that pavilion will keep the seating
Edible area
for
sitting
families
there.
and people just to be able to sit, get a spot in the shade.
We had Mike in the middle tones at there.
Yeah, so Mike and the middle tones, they'll be on the main stage, so that was the other part.
Last year they
So
were-
obviously when you're on the main stage, you know, you have that changeover time, sound check, that kind of thing. So Mike, they'll actually be on the main stage playing live polka while the stage is being changed. So
Right.
the stage that we had last year, it's the same one we had at Deutschen Fest, same one that's been at Slice the last 2 years. It's got plenty of space where we can
nothing-
have kind of them. They're a small 2-3 man group where they could play kind of on the side whilst we're changing the
Loading.
bands over and getting everything ready for the
So
next big
nothing
show.
on the small podium. I mean,
No.
help me out, I can't think of the word.
No, I know what you're
Gazebo.
thinking. Yeah, nothing.
Yeah.
Small gazebo. And we moved the Ferris wheel where we did because we hear all the time teens want more, teens want more, teens want more. And so this is kind of a teen section too, right? So you're next to the food, you're next to the stage. These are a little bit of the stuff where it's the tallest thing and it's a little bit more of the fair area. And then this is a little bit more of the smaller kid play area stuff.
Yeah, and we plan to do a little bit of kind of building the feel similar to how the beer garden had last year with lighting and kind of some decor and decoration. So it won't just be the Ferris wheel and a trailer sitting out there in the middle of the empty field. They'll have some other things to kind of build that theme around. So we mentioned the fun run. So here's a little bit more of the fun run. So here's the map for the fun run this year. The biggest change, like I said, the years past past couple years, we've ran out of Fenwick Park. This year we'll actually be doing the run from Pfluger Park. So the run will start at 10. Well, the first parts of the run, as you can see by the schedule there, will start at 10. And again, that's when Deutschen Fest opens that Saturday. So we'll start with a guided warm-up, and then we'll do the kids 1K. So it's kind of hard to see from here, but that kind of gold yellow line, we'll have the kids 1K just out and back. And then the full 5K route takes you pretty much right to Windermere Park. And so we'll turn in Windermere and come back. We'll have live music out on the course. So actually Mike and the Middletones, their first gig of the day will be out on the course. So we'll have a little bit of polka out for folks. And then if you notice, kind of referencing back to the main stage schedule, Austin Polka Band starts at 11. So by the time the fun run, the actual 5K has started and go out, when people are coming back, this main stage will be going as people come back into the park, which we did kind of by intention to kind of, again, build that atmosphere and kind of maybe add some new twists to the fun run this year.
Growler beer, growler root
Yep.
beer, and growler beer.
Growler will also be like they again have in the past. They're awesome. So they're sponsoring root beer for those not of age, and then beers for finishers as well this year. Yep.
Got a question for people that just want to go see the runners. At the start of the race, do they have to pay to get into the festival?
Yeah, because it would be full blown Deutschen Fest just like normal.
Okay.
Yep.
Now,
But
if they
once
wanted
you
to
get
stand over here, though,
Yeah,
If they
once
go
you
to
get right
Fanning
down-
Lane or whatever, but
Yeah.
I'm talking about the start line.
in the start line.
Yeah, start
yes.
line and finish line.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct. And then this year we'll be doing different to kind of how we had the past 2 years as well. Maybe more like a traditional race, and this may be the most traditionally race linked part of the fun run. Because again, we're not chip timed. We don't keep time at all. We don't.
fun.
We may do a bib, but it will be purely just like a novelty bib, not any official race bibs, right? But again, your shirt for the fun run also gets you into the festival both days. So adding to all that, Thursday and Friday leading up to the event, we'll have packet pickup here where you can get your shirt, you can get your info, you ask questions. Again, the course is not radically different than it has been, but it is different. How the logistics of getting to the start finish line, all that kind of stuff, catching your bus from the field that morning, all those goodies, you'll have a chance to answer all that the days leading up to. Then we'll also have it that morning for folks before the race. Speaking of shuttles, so we will do shuttles just as we have in the years past to help folks get down to the park for both days. Friday, we'll use the east parking lot of Pflugerville High School, and then Saturday it will be the field.
and then y'all had gotten the packet for the sponsorship in y'all's email as well, and we just showed as well here the Deutschen Fest packet, what the sponsors have received from us, the benefits, the levels, and that's it as far as our Deutschen Fest presentation. Any questions for Bays? All right.
So what were the dates on that again?
Of the festival, it's
Yeah.
the 17th and 18th. Friday the 17th, Saturday the 18th.
And in the past, we have had a Parks and Rec Commission booth area that we could set up if folks wanted to engage the public or do anything like that. If that's something y'all are still interested in at some point, I guess email Ray and Ray will let us know and we can set something up somewhere. And that, oh, imagine that says adjourn. We're at it.
Is there a motion to adjourn? Is there a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Do we have a second?
A second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. See ya.
See ya.
See ya.